Alan Lindeman, Doc. What's going on, man? How are you?
We're doing really well here, Neil. And you?
Fantastic. And today's topic's preeclampsia. What's the name of your pregnancy and postpartum book?
It's called Pregnancy Your Way. Choose a Safe and Happy Birth.
Why pick this title?
Well, our book is a how-to self-help book, not just an explanation of pregnancy. I've delivered 6,000 babies in 40 years, and I've gained a lot of information that you can get by reading the book. And this information might even save your life.
What is preeclampsia?
Well, it's a triad. There are three things that are necessary: high blood pressure, overactive reflexes, and protein in the urine.
Okay. What are the symptoms of preeclampsia?
Well, I want to just talk about the difference between a symptom and a sign. A symptom is like a headache. It's something that the patient finds. A sign is something that the doctor finds in the office visit. So during the early and middle stages of preeclampsia, there are no symptoms. You don't know you have it. That's one of the reasons that some people say it's surprising and unpredictable. I find it neither. You don't know you have it, so you have to pay attention to early signs like high blood pressure reading.
Can you predict who will get preeclampsia?
Absolutely not.
Does being very healthy decrease my risk for having preeclampsia?
No, it doesn't. I think there's a lot of people who labor under that false understanding that good health will prevent preeclampsia, which is totally only pregnancy related.
Does exercising decrease my risk for preeclampsia?
Not at all. Some of the our long distance runners, the gold medal winners, get preeclampsia.
What is the first sign that I have preeclampsia?
It is one elevated blood pressure in your physician's office or even at home.
If I have one elevated blood pressure, what should I do?
Well, I recommend that everybody should get a blood pressure cuff, learn how to use it, and check your pressure twice a day. Now, there are people who are raising Cain about the value of home blood pressure cuffs because they think they're not accurate. It really doesn't matter because what you're looking for is a trend. And one blood pressure cuff will tell you whether your blood pressure is going up the next day or not.
If my blood pressure is elevated at home, what should I do?
I recommend modifying activity. For example, if you have three 12-hour shifts, making 36 hours a week, I'd recommend, first of all, trying to cut back to, say, 4 8-hour shifts. That'll give you 32 hours a week.
Should I bed rest?
Well, years ago, bed rest was popular. I can remember in my residency, we made patients have bed rest in the hospital. But bed rest has been proven to be neither safe nor effective, and it is no longer recommended for pregnant women.
What's the difference between preeclampsia and eclampsia?
Well, eclampsia is preeclampsia with a seizure.
Are preeclampsia and eclampsia possible after birth?
Well, unfortunately, they are. A lot of young women run into trouble by having an exacerbation or an increase in blood pressure problems after delivery. And you have to watch patients for about a week, maybe a little bit more. But a lot of bad things can happen during pregnancy, during the postpartum time, like a liver capsule rupture. That's a almost certain death.
What actually happens with preeclampsia?
Well, that is a restricted blood volume. The most important part of pregnancy is to have an increased blood volume, more serum. That's a straw-colored liquid, protein rich in your blood, and more red cells. So normal pregnancy has about a 30 to 50% increase in blood volume. So preeclampsia, the sign of preeclampsia is when you don't do that, when you keep your original smaller blood volume.
Is anemia a sign of sickness in pregnancy?
Absolutely not. A little bit of anemia is what you consider to be normal for pregnancy. As a matter of fact, I always worry about patients if I see their hemoglobin is high or if I see that it's rising.
Can hemoglobin be too high during pregnancy?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that an elevated hemoglobin is a part of preeclampsia, and it also could be part of HELP syndrome. The problem with HELP syndrome is that you can have a lot of bleeding. So um, high hemo or elevated hemoglobin would not be a sign later on with HELP, but it would be a sign in the beginning.
So you can go to worlddocallen.com and pick up Pregnancy Your Way and Modern Medicine available today on Amazon. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, that was the World Doc Allen podcast, guys. Take care. Doc Allen podcast. I'm excited to welcome World Doc Allen Lindeman. Doc, what's going on, man? How are you?
We're doing really well here, Neil. And you?
Fantastic. And today's topics help. What's the name of your pregnancy and postpartum book?
It is Pregnancy Your Way. Choose a safe and happy birth.
Why pick this title?
Well, our book is a self-help how-to book. And the point we really want to drive home for the entire book is that you can choose to have a safe and happy birth. It's a step-by-step guide to a safe and happy pregnancy. We have a website. We have 237 podcasts and 100 Substack articles devoted to healthcare issues.
What is HELP syndrome?
Well, it's hemolysis, that's the first H, elevated liver enzymes, that's E and L, and low platelets. This is first named in 1982, although I'm sure it's been around for as long as we've had vaginal birth, which probably would be several million years. The preeclampsia and HELP can only occur during pregnancy.
Can you predict who will get HELP syndrome?
Absolutely not. Some of the healthiest people can get HELP syndrome. Again, it's pregnancy related. If you're not pregnant, you can't get it.
Does being very healthy decrease my risk for having HELP syndrome?
Absolutely not. There's no connection between being very healthy and being safe from HELP syndrome.
What are the symptoms of HELP?
Well, usually HELP can occur between 27 and 40 weeks. Symptoms include fatigue, right upper quadrant pain, which would be up here, and that would be liver pain, blurry vision, chest pain, headache, nausea, vomiting, and sometimes weight gain. It can be associated with preeclampsia, but it can also occur just by itself. And again, this is something that occurs in the first week. It can occur in the first week after birth.
How do you rule out HELP syndrome?
Well, it's something called a CBC, or a complete blood count, that looks for a hemoglobin. It also checks for hemolysis. Hemolysis is when your body destroys the red cells, and those are the oxygen carrying cells in your blood that take oxygen from your lungs to your tissues. So that, and also a test for liver enzymes. Those are the two tests you'd need. And of course, the CBC will give you the platelet value.
What is the hallmark finding of HELP syndrome?
It is hemolysis. Again, that is the destruction of red blood cells.
What is the difference between preeclampsia and HELP?
Well, preeclampsia, it has a triad. It has three things: protein in the urine, um, two active reflexes, and high blood pressure. Again, HELP is hemolysis, elevated liver enzymes, and low platelets. Sometimes they can occur together, and they are usually both accompanied by high blood pressure.
Is HELP syndrome serious?
Oh, yes. Um, it's estimated that somewhere between 25% and 60% of women who have HELP syndrome become mortalities. They die from this syndrome. And the way they die is a hemorrhagic stroke. Hemorrhagic strokes are extremely risky. They cause a lot of damage. And like I said, they certainly are implicated in death, both from preeclampsia and from HELLP.
All right, best place to go is RoyalDocAllen.com and pick up Pregnancy Your Way and Modern Medicine available today on Amazon. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, that was the Royal Doc Allen podcast.